Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today we're gonna take a look at the Northern Lion. This is a mod made by Havok and Gabboi, and I would like to mention from the start that mods aren't officially endorsed by Frontier, so if you ruin your game by using mod, it is your own fault. I will say though, if you use some of the tutorials here on YouTube made by a lot of great YouTubers, then you should be somehow safe. I decided not to make one myself because I know I sometimes confuses people and I don't want to confuse anyone to break their game. So below in the description there are a link to a video by Leaf which I think is very good for people who learn like me. I need to see things visually to understand them. Other people just need to get it explained. So therefore, if you don't want to use leaves, that's totally okay. It's just one that taught me a lot about how to do it. And even if you did mod in other games, still use some of these tutorials specifically to Frontier, because there's a little bit of difference between games in how you do it. But back to the Northern Lion. The picture here below, I am so sorry, but there are so few left at this point, and most of the Northern Lions in captivity are West African lions. So the Northern Lion is pretty rare, and actually so rare that they don't have their own place of the IUCN list. They actually have a grouped place as critical endangered with the West African lion and the Asiatic lion. So it's kind of grouped together, but we're gonna look here. But as you can see, there are a little bit difference. First of all, the male's mane, I think it's called mane, the hair, is much shorter and more like puny looking. It looks like someone pulled out his hair. There's not a lot of it, and the hair that's left is very not that great looking. And it is one of the things we will take a look at as in a minute. The female looks pretty much like a female lion, but you can't really see it here, but the bone structure is in the face is a tiny bit different, which I actually think the mod shows pretty well. We're gonna compare first the males, then the females, and then the babies. Because it's lions and there's a pretty big difference. Actually, I don't feel like we have to compare the babies, but I think we're gonna do it anyway. Okay. And stop the time before you do anything. You can see first of all, this is a very much blurred compared to this. It's because the mane here is so much more compact on the West African lion. So you need to get close to see the blurriness, where here you can see it from the far. They also have a much longer forehead, and the nose bridge here is very wide. If you see this from the nose to the nose bridge, it goes inwards, where over here it goes pretty much just up and down. And the eyes do looks kind of like the eyelids are very heavy. That's also a thing we will see both in the males and females. The size is of course also a big difference, and it looks like this one is bigger and stronger, but if you look at it, I do believe we have the same amount of muscles. It's just because of the coloration it seems more over here. Besides that, the West African lion looks more like a cartoon. That doesn't have anything to say over the animal. It's the Frontier who decided with their first animals that they were going to some cartoonish way. I do believe that they have redone them since, so it's not as cartoonish as it used to be, but it's still cartoonish. And we have the whiskers here, but they are shorter. The coloration, both lions come in multiple colorations, but the northern lion is more gray and darker overall. Though you can get this lion in this color. I haven't seen this lion in that color, but that doesn't mean that it isn't there. So if you want to move over, or else we're gonna move over, we can move over here. We're gonna take the female, we put the northern lioness over here, and we're gonna put the West African lioness over here. There. And let's see here. Well, at first glance, they are very alike. It could just be another coloration. The build is pretty much the same. The West African lion is a bit lighter on the chest and over here, and it's more yellow toned, but again, it could be a different coloration. The tail are pretty much the same. Even the shoulder plates is very much the same. But the difference here comes when we can I get the sun down here? Yeah. Here again, the nose bridge is very it goes a little bit inward, not as much as it did on the male, but going over here, it seems like it actually become wider, and again, the eyes are very droopy. So that's a big difference. The nose also have a different coloration. And overall, again, this looks a little more like a cartoon. Also because most lions from television, like actors lions or West African lions, and we also have the Lion King, which I think a lot of us who grew up in the 90s look at the, even though it is a cartoon, look at those lions as lions, and they were actually drawn after the West African lion, so therefore it makes sense that the Northern lion isn't as popular. I did though read somewhere, and I can confirm this because I don't have it from Disney, but in The Lion King 2, if you notice that it was easy to tell the lions from Simba's pack and Kovo's mom's pack apart, and it's because the other pack was models after the Northern lion. I read it somewhere, I can't confirm it, but it would make sense because it is kind of easy to tell these two apart when it comes down to it. And actually, I had this mod before and I thought it looked kind of weird, but looking at the picture we had here before, they don't look that weird at all. Let's just take the babies while we are here. We're gonna put the West African lion cub here. And the Northern lion. I will say though, it's not the biggest difference. There's again a little bit with the coloration and the nose, but I thought you would like to see it for yourself. Yeah, please don't. There. You see again, we have the little more droopy eyes here. We have the little difference in color, but even the spots here is the same, so it is clearly modeled after this one. Which of course the adults also are, but I do believe they took more time to change them up, where here it looks more like a paintwork on the body, and then the face, where the nose again here go inwards up to the nose bridge, and they have the slider parts here, where here it's darker, it's more contrasted here actually. And it still have the whiskers, but the whiskers looks like they've been redone. It's a very small detail. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it seems like they are a little more prominent here, but that can also be because the fur behind it is darker here. So that's pretty much all the difference we have on these lions. But why don't we jump into Zoopedia? I know that was a real long intro, but I feel like it was something we did. Now, this male have a little bit of a different mane. It wouldn't be weird if they chose to animate this picture specifically. It can take a real long time for when you do cinematic shots or something like that to get the animal to do what you want it to do in Planet Zoo. So this might be a model picture, which is why the mane is darker and more prominent. But it can also be that there are multiple colorations, so you can't get a mane that looks like this. Here they are listed as endangered, and population in the wild is 924. They live in Africa and Asia, so it's West Africa. Northern lion, West Africa. Makes sense. And then in India. Sorry, India. Grassland, temperate and tropical biomes, and one of them needs 705 square meters of land and nothing else. They do both climb and swim, but they don't climb voluntarily. It's not like monkeys that wants to climb. They will climb if you make them climb. So if you make a road from point A to point B that's shorter if they climb than if they walk, then they will choose to climb. Or you put some toys up there that can also make them want to get up to the toys. They live from 8 to 42 degrees Celsius, and you need a grade 3 climb-proof fence. Important with the climb-proof. Jumping over here, you can have a group size from 2 to 30, and that's 1 male and 29 females. You can also have a male bachelor group from 2 to 4, and you can have a female bachelorette group from 2 to 30. There are no dominants. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. Normally I take all of these information with a grain of salt. But why would there only be 1 male if there were no dominance? That doesn't make sense. They are promiscuous, confident around humans, and guests should not enter their habitat. The male grows to 1.15 meters at the shoulder. That's 1.85 or 8 feet, something around there. And the female grows to 95 centimeter at the shoulder, which is around 3 feet. They live for around 18 years, and they male weigh around 175 kilos. That's around 350 pounds. And the female 115 kilos. That's 230 pounds. They reach sexual maturity at age 5 and reach sexual sterilization at age 15. Give between 1 and 4 offspring every 2nd year, and they're pregnant for 3 months. They should be around average to get to reproduce in captivity. Jumping over here, they don't have any interspecies enrichment. I personally would like them to have interspecies enrichment with the West African lion, because it makes sense. If the group is so small, then you can choose either to interbreed them with another subspecies like the West African lion, or you can allow them to interbreed with their own cousins or brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts. And I personally think it's better to let them interbreed with other subspecies and lose a subspecies, but keep the blood still pumping in the new species that you will evolve that way, then lose it totally because of interbreeding. But that's a personal thing. I'm not saying it's the right way or the only way. I say that's the way I personally think is the right way when a species already is down in those numbers. Not species that can flourish on their own. Sorry, that's just me. We have the enrichment items here. We have the rubbing pad, but only this variation. We have the sprinkler. We have a fire hose ball, ice block, cardboard boxes, scratching tree, scratching pole, blood scented sack, pinata zebra, the rotating line feeder, and that is actually funny because the West African line don't have this, which I don't understand. Then we have the frozen blood pumpkin and the block and frozen fish. Now I know we looked a little bit at them before, but he's clearly wet now. He's been swimming, so it makes sense that he have that shininess. I will say though, the West African lions have some kind of shininess going on, whether or not they are wet. It's not that much, but it's clearly there, where the northern lion only have it when they are wet. Oh, he's tired, he's sleeping. But overall I will say, yeah, he's a little bit in the ground there. And I'm not sure why he's shaking, but overall all of the animation I've seen is working very, very good. Yeah, we already looked a lot about them, so I won't waste too much time here. The only animation I found that was a little bit funky, and that's actually, I tried it with both females when I placed them up here. Oh, she was swimming. Then sometimes when they try to go over one of these, they glitch through and fall down in the water, which the computer for some reason can't handle, so they will box up and start over. It's like the computer thinks that they escaped and I have escaped off, so therefore they go back to the gate and get released from a bug. It's kind of weird, but that's pretty much the only thing about it. I have also seen them go up here to just lay down, of course, but if you really want your lions to climb, then you need some reason for them to go up here. And they do one thing I don't like about their climbing, but again, it's the game, I think. Here they rarely use this or this line. They like to pick the lines out on the edge, whereas there's clearly not space for the lines, so it looks like they go out in the air. That's a little thing, but it's still a thing. Besides that, as I said, every single animation works very good. And yeah, and if you have them in together here, it doesn't seem that weird. You can, if you want, to pick out these two is the northern lions along with this one, but you could clearly have it and this would just look like a younger lion compared to him, and the kids and the females would just look like a different variation. So if you want lions and you either want more variations of them, or you want a different lion because they don't live the same places, then it's clearly a mod you can go for. Again, Havok and Gabboi, it's not the modders I have seen the most from, but pretty much all I see for them are very good. So I clearly recommend this mod as well. And I'm gonna stop talking now, but You know the drill, guys. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys!